Good afternoon. It is October the 5th, 2017. Time to recap today's trading and take a look at tomorrow. And tomorrow's going to be pretty easy to look at. We've got a Newsday trade. My guess is the market's playing for a bigger non-farm payroll number because the jobless claims numbers have been smaller than forecast. Hypothetical or simulated performance results have certain limitations. Unlike an actual performance record, simulated results do not represent actual trading. Also, since the trades have not been executed, the results may have under or overcompensated for the impact, if any, of certain market factors such as lack of liquidity. Simulated trading programs in general are also subject to the fact that they're designed with the benefit of hindsight. No representation is being made that any account will or is likely to achieve profit or losses similar to those shown. Well, we came into the E-mini today liking it. Wanted to get long. We had a 33.35 buy, starting out 38.75 right here in this area is about as good as you could do getting long there. There were several opportunities to get short. We passed on every one of them. In fact, an hour ago we said look for new intraday highs into the close, and we're 2 ticks higher. So I mean, nobody's falling over themselves to get long. Nobody's in a hurry. The trading community is running the show, but we've got a strong market and don't have any signs of selling yet. F1 screen is going to show buying. F2 screen is going to show buying. And my guess is we're definitely going to set a new record close. We got a good chance of making new highs here in the last hour of trading. Tomorrow is a news day. Know the news and you have the trade. Non-farm payroll and unemployment are the two big numbers. Looking for 100K. That number, I'm guessing the market's going to play for a higher number than that. Unemployment 4.4. The job impact from Harvey and Irma is less than forecast. Hourly work week 34.4. And I forgot to write down earnings. We have wholesale trade plus 1%. And then Baker Hughes rig count 1153, 940. Put an article up there today that Chinese demand for crude oil is higher than has been forecast. The IMF and the International Economic Council put out reports saying global demand for crude oil will be higher this year than it was last year. So good chance second half of this year we'll be working off that excess production. The problem with that is that every producer keeps producing more. So there's more productive capacity out there than there is demand as it stands. So right here, the news focus will be non-farm payrolls and the unemployment rate. My guess is the market's playing for a number greater than 100,000. Sell failure to take out and hold 25.50. Then 54.56. Sell 2. On the buy side, 44.46 buy 1. And then 40.42 buy 2. And we'll see if we get it. We never know these days. What we do know is that it's going higher. And again, it's the Trump tax package that's holding things up, and we see hints that it may be passed by Thanksgiving recess when Congress hangs it up. We got people paid more money for less time. They get to count the time it takes for horses to travel. That explains all their time off and all their downtime, so they can get back and spend time with the constituency. They have to cover the territory on horseback. So that's why people fight like hell to get to DC to become millionaires. 20 right now, F1, lower high, lower low, find a place to sell it. F2 on the bonds, definitely a B. Pretty clean break in the market at 125.08, 125.10, right up there. Last rotate up stopped at 6. Newsday trade, but without news tomorrow, we'd be selling 7s to 11 and 15 to 19. On the buy side, we'd be buying 29s to 01 and 21 to 25, but it is a newsday trade, and we'll try to get one off in the bond and off in the E-mini tomorrow to show you how it's done live, real time. Looking at the 30-year. $12 to 16 is number 1. 19 to 23, sell 1. 27.53, sell 2. We had 28 to the buck as resistance, and I think we had a high of 29 or 30, so we really did our job on that. Last rotate down stopped at 07, then at 06, so 4 to 8 is number 1. By 29s to 01, by 1, and by 17 to 21, by 2. Treasuries are headed lower. Higher interest rates are coming. The Fed has promised. Looking at gold, lower high, lower low, find a place to sell it. Yeah, a lot of people question, can it be that easy? Well, to get lower highs and lower lows, which is our definition of a trend, down, the converse is true for an uptrend. There's a lot that goes into it, but we don't pay enough attention to it. And then it is that simple. We have selling today, and we're lower than we were the preceding day. So why would we think that the market might change directions and rally? Well, that would be news dependent, and then that's when we put it into context and the quality of the news, the magnitude of the news, etc. But right now the attractor's at 66, so 71.69 by 1. The 65-67 area would be the area we'd like to get in. On the sell side, 74.76, sell 1. 78 to 80, sell 2. This morning we had an 80 to 82 sell. Caught that pretty well. We like the short side first. Why? Because of the strength in the E-mini. This isn't rocket surgeon stuff, but you have to know what to look for. You have to know what to emphasize. And once you get that down, you can start making a go of this. Crude oil sold after the short squeeze into the close. We've said for a long time that the low is in crude oil. I see no reason to change that assessment. Today we have a high outside. Well, we do have a higher low and a higher high. Find a place to buy it. 51.25 was pretty good resistance, and that stopped the market. and you can just see it right there. So we had a fairly strong market today. We have a hurricane that will take the hedging component out of the market. They'll be watching now what type of how intense will this be, a category 1 or a category 2. Right now they're saying it will strengthen to a category 1. So last rotate up stopped at what, at 80, 83, 85, somewhere in there. So 75 to 51 is sell 1. 51 and a quarter, 51.50 sell 2. On the buy side, 50 and a quarter, 50.50 buy 1. And then 49.75, 50 even buy 2. This will be news driven. How do the unemployment numbers affect crude? More people going back to work, higher demand for crude, buy crude. Less people going back to work, lower demand for crude, sell crude. Pretty simple model. And the euro, our economy is strengthening. Generally speaking, the economic numbers coming out of Europe are getting a little better, but they're not showing anywhere near the growth we are. We're projected around 3% or more. So that's usually the case. We have our move out of the middle. Mario's got to love it. So this 116.75, 117 even is probably pretty good support. So buy 117 even. The breakout came from 42, so 50 to 75, picking up this area. Actually, it was 15.50. That's to 16.50 is support. So 16.50 would be buy 2. On the sell side, this is the F1 screen, just in very broad numbers, 17.50. Structurally picking all of this up, so leaning against 17.50 is a pretty good number. We go to F2 to fine tune it. Always kind of like to get it, the big picture stuff. It makes it a little bit easier, keeps it in perspective. And you can see that 1775 right here. 1770 is pretty stout resistance. Last rotate up here was 59. So that 65 to 75 area is probably prime sell territory. And then 90 to the buck for sell 2. On the buy side, we're headed lower, so we'll put out 25 to 35 buy 1. Then 117 even. 117.10 buy 2. And that's it for this October the 5th. I hope tomorrow we've got enough volatility to work with to make it fun. We go through lots of periods of paint drying, trying to pay attention. Hopefully that's not the case tomorrow. We've got rain in the forecast here. Rain again in the forecast tomorrow, and it's supposed to move out. The cold front's supposed to come through, so we'll see if we get that. Y'all have a great evening. I'll see you bright and early in the morning. We'll see if we can make some money on some Newsday trading. I'm out of here.